Well, hello, folks, from wherever you're watching around the world. Thank you for being here for another broadcast of Open Pagan Church. And I'm going to pull up our Discord folk, unmute them. There we go. Looks like we got Clint and Cindy so far. Clint is on mute doing cleaning this morning. Bless his heart. One thing, real quick, if you guys look up and I'm on, be right back, doctor has me on diuretics. So, anybody that's ever taken diuretics, you know what that'll do to you. Yeah, gotta go, you gotta go. So our topic on Open Pagan Church this morning, looks like we've got a few people joining. If you're chatting in the chat area, right? If you're chatting in the chat area, please be sure you're posting as yourself instead of posting as Open Pagan Church. That way people know who they're talking to. Right. So, welcome, and here we go. Our topic this morning is be the person, not the title. Now, we've talked about this before, and generally I cover something kind of like this topic a couple of 2 or 3 times a year, simply because it's something that needs to be reminded to us older folk, as well as the younger, newer generation coming in to the pagan philosophy. Now, here at Open Pagan Church, we don't care what path you follow. We don't care if you're pagan, Christian, Jewish, atheist, agnostic, Muslim, or any of the other thousands of global religions, as long as you're respectful. We try on Open Pagan Church to be the person, not the title. And I mean, if we look at my title in Open Pagan Church, I'm kind of the founder and the primary minister, I guess you could say. But that doesn't shed a shadow over the other ministers that we have that have trained for 10 plus years to be ministers in the Open Pagan Church system. You can do the same. So what it comes down to is, what is it to be the person, not the title? If you've ever been a supervisor of people, then you know what it is to maintain your humanity and not let that title go to your head and become someone that's a micromanager and someone who cracks the whip, as it were. If you've ever been in a position where you're a leader of people, there's a difference between a leader and a boss or a tyrant. And if you don't know what tyrant means, well, Google it. Google is your friend. And I've had people ask me in the past, how do you walk the talk? How do you be the person and not the title? Well, in all honesty, start right up front. I've gotten a case of the big head on occasion. Human beings do. And it has taken the art of the people in the group in Open Pagan Church, also known as House of Pagans, to yank a proverbial knot in my proverbial keister, something along the lines of, dude, you're getting a bit carried away with yourself. Which is why, many years ago, we decided that the House of Pagans and Open Pagan Church did not need a tradition, because we're not a path. We're a spiritual gathering of like-minded people who come together and want to share philosophies and ideas. So what that does is that removes the possibility of any titles such as elders, right, in the church. It removes the possibility of anyone that needs to be in control of the church, as it were. Clint named his circle Gathering. Makes perfect sense to me. Cindy has a name for hers in Beaumont. It slips my mind. Don't remember the name of it, really. And I'm a part of the group. Short memory. But when you're a pagan minister, or when you're a minister of any spiritual or religious organization, I bite my tongue when I say religious organization, but Open Pagan Church, I guess, is by definition a religious organization, even though we're not real organized. We don't have a 501(c)(3) tax-free thing. Too much paperwork, too much pain in the butt. But when you're put in a position of power, it makes it hard to be the person, not the title. Like I wrote in the text over here, and I'll read that to you guys for those of you that really can't see the information panel. It says, how many people do we know that want to be a title and not the person? They want the title, but they don't want to be the human being that goes with the title. And this is when someone gains a title in a path, or any path, then they get a case of the big head. They think they're somebody more than what they are. I always say respect the title, but the person of that title has to earn that respect. It's like I've told more than one boss I've worked for. I respect your title. My respect of you as a person is earned. And I go the same way over the people that I've managed in the past and that I'm a lead over now. I earn the respect of my people. And they know we have a job to do. Well, it's somewhat the same way as a minister of a church, I guess you could say, or a spiritual organization. You have to earn the respect of those who are there with you. I've had a couple of people in the past accusing me of leading people around like sheep. On the contrary, I don't want to lead anyone around like sheep. And anyone who is a pagan minister, or a minister of any organization, I would think, really wants to lead people around by the nose like they were sheep or cattle. If you're true to what you say you are, and you are the person, not the title, then you find yourself communicating with people, opening dialogue, listening to what people have to say. That's the reason we started the Discord channel, was so that people could come in and speak their opinions, talk about their ideas, and they wouldn't have to actually type. There are a number of people that listen to our broadcast while driving down the road, while working, while doing other things, and they really don't have time to pick up a keyboard. But sometimes they can reach over and tap unmute and speak their thoughts or their words. I hate to say it, but um, I must take a moment to go tag. I know that Cindy is in chat. If Cindy could take off and go with some of her lessons that she's learned with Be the Person, Not the Title. I'll be right back. Did Cindy lose her microphone? Well, uh, Cindy, if you're talking, we can't hear you. No, I was just talking to her a minute ago. Hmm.
Okay.
I heard something.
Taking a few minutes break.
Ah, good. Clint, have you been listening?
Yes. I
Right.
have my headphones on my phone in my pocket, so
Oh, rock on.
as not really the leader of our group, but one of the founding members of it, people at times look to me to help with things. Um, but for a while, I did get the big head too, and I kind of got yanked about a few times um, by my counsel and stuff. But you have to balance being the person and also being the title, and that's hard to do it sometimes because, like at work, I'm starting to be a leader of the guys, even though I'm not ready. I'm ready for it, but I'm not ready for it.
Yeah, I'm here.
It's trying to. Uh, I can't really explain. You just have to be normal. You can't get a big head about stuff, um,
Okay.
because people look to you wanting to have like a center post or ground or something along that lines.
Right. Yeah, it does get hard to be the person and not the title. Sounds like Cindy's back.
Yeah, I'm back.
Cindy, what's some of your experience as be the person, not the title? You've been around the House Pagans and Open Pagan Church for a very long time. What are some of the things you've experienced? People losing contrast, if you will, between the title and the person.
Well, you know this past history of us in Beaumont. So I went to a pagan gathering, I guess, circle of Golden Triangle Circle, and I went there just as a shaman. I want to learn. I want to meet other people, like-minded people. Let's talk. One of the group members, the leader, found out I was House of Pagan, and he went off saying, "You don't know this, and you don't know that." And I took it back a notch, told him not notch it down because you've got the big head. Well, I said it in my mind, but I didn't. And I thought, well, I'm gonna come at it this way. So he calmed down, and he wasn't such a big head, and we had a discussion instead of everybody getting like, I'm a master shaman of this grove, and he's a witch of this coven. So there's people out there that still have the big head. You just learn how to kind of adjust it where they see you as a person, be the person, and not the title.
Does it not come along with education, I think, though? Education and experience uh, in the community. I mean, if we.
Agree. Yeah, I agree on that education because I'm going to every Saturday I go to a church to pick up my produce basket. I know it's everyday life thing, and they saw me as a pagan and not a person.
But the unfortunate part is that's so much the society in which we live, is that mainstream taught people don't understand that we're people first, we're human beings first, and then we make a choice what our religious affiliation is, or our spiritual path, if you will. And remembering back in the early days of the HOP, back in the late 90s, early 2000s, God, I say that like it was 100 years ago, but we're approaching just over 20 years. Wow. Yeah.
20 years? Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been in 16, 17?
Something like that. You joined in what, 02, 03?
03.
03. So, yeah, we're coming up on 2020. That'll be 17 years.
Whew.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Make us feel old, Don.
Yeah. So, I mean, when you're talking about be the person, not the title, that goes in every range. And see, here's one of the interesting things I find about people in the pagan community. We are a pagan community. By definition, what makes us pagan is we are polytheistic. And for some reason, some people get it in their head that all pagans are witches, all pagans are Wiccan. No. And by definition, all witches are pagan and all Wiccans are pagan. By definition, all Druids are pagan and Asatru and Fae, and I could go on and on and on. But by definition. Now you can tag Christian pagan on whatever you want to tag it. That's okay. I've done rant videos on that. I'm not going to get into that on this one.
No.
But the case in point, being the person, not the title, it is so absolute easy to get wrapped up in power. And I've always been a firm believer that absolute power corrupts absolutely 100% of the time eventually.
Yep.
Yeah, go ahead.
You're right. Absolute power is not just like we have a government. It's absolute power. I know it's a different subject, but absolute power in there is not good.
Well, no, and it's okay. It's a different subject matter, but it's really actually along the same lines. Anytime you have a organization, and by definition, an organization is an organized group of people to perform a function, right? Well, generally people assume that is a big company, but any kind of church is an organization because you have people organizing together to discuss different ideas and different philosophies and learn. Well, some churches, um, you go to the church and you sit and you listen to some guy beat the gavel or beat the Bible or beat the whatever it is they beat. And if any of you were asleep, you're not now because I got my roll of paper towels and it's on. Um, yeah, shut up.
Drum.
Drum. Anyway, where were we? So when you're talking about organizational, what, discipline, I mean, let's think about discipline in an organization for a moment. If bless their heart, if we talk about the Catholic Church, well, the fundamental foundation of the Catholic Church, they have some pretty interesting ideas. I mean, come on, they got to have something going for them. They are by far the richest church organization on the planet. Well, we could really go down that rabbit hole, couldn't we? But we're not gonna. And then you take a look at the Baptist Church. They're the second richest religious organization on the planet. Well, there's another rabbit hole I could go down hard.
No.
But it's not about that. It's about a priest, a preacher, a rabbi, a minister, whatever you call the other one, understanding that we are seen as leaders of the quote community. And in all reality, in my opinion, and we all know what people say about opinions, if we keep our minds straight, we keep our wits about us, and we remember to humble our position. See, there's the big thing, the big key, humbling your position. And I remind myself this on a daily basis if I have to scold or say something to one of the employees that are entrusted under me to make sure they're doing their jobs and following policy. I have to remember, I was there. I was where they are. And I have to remember the differences that were taught to me by some of my leaders in some of the jobs I've had. Back in the 80s, I was taught the difference between being a leader, a boss, and a dictator. So when you're walking the talk and you're being the person, not the title, you're remembering to humble the title, because titles, for the most part, should be earned, not just given. Of course, speaking from experience in corporate America, most of those titles are given, depending on who you know or who you blow. Oh, I said that, didn't I? Oops. In spiritual organizations, or at least in ours, I don't know about others, we've never done that. We've never done who you know or who you blow. We've done who you are, the things that you've done for the community. We look at individuals, where they are in their path, and what they're willing to learn to become a minister of the HOP, thereby by default a minister of Open Pagan Church. But following, being the person, not the title, that's in the proof of the pudding. Wouldn't you agree?
Definitely agree. What's you, Clint?
Yeah, you have to earn it no matter what is going on, whether it's in business or in life or everything. You have to earn the respect and remember to be humble, like you said, Don.
And see, I would like to see more interaction among the pagan community. Oh,
What we need to do is, like, Clint's got a good group going on. Tell them about today about the pagan church online. Maybe they can join that way.
I have. We'll do it again.
all right. So I wanna read a post that Lee posted in the chat. Thank you for sharing that, by the way, and welcome to our listeners. If you decide you want to join in and talk, um, you're welcome to. There's a link up in the description for Discord. Anyway, just 10 years ago, I was a part of an organized pagan church, and the leader had gotten such a case of the big head that she literally destroyed our group. Says, I do have a title, but I see myself as a pagan farmer who's trying to be good people, and not just a pastor or a priestess. That makes perfect sense. I live happily next door to a Christian preacher. That's cool. We know each other's title, but it doesn't get in the way of the friendship. Therein lies an absolute truth. And I want to thank Lee for posting that. We had, I don't remember the year, but one of our members at the time, my stepson at the time, went through his 16-year-old coming of power. He went through the crossing, the coming of power, coming into his education, his power, and his leadership. We had a Catholic priest who had found us online, who wanted to join or just watch that ritual. We were still a very young group. I think this was like 02 or 03, if I remember correctly. And the gentleman and I became relatively tight friends, and I found it very interesting. He was a African American gentleman. He was raised in the Catholic Church. He was a priest of one of the Beaumont area Catholic churches. And I was saddened some years later when he looked me up on email. This was after we moved up here in 08, mind you. He looked me up in email, and he sent me an email explaining that after that ritual, after he had attended that ritual and went back and reported to his peers what he had seen, it cost him his church. They took his church away from him because an educational opportunity for him to learn cost him his church. I was absolutely gobsmacked by that. I was blown away and saddened that the biggest religious organization on the planet would take a person's church away from them just simply because they wanted to learn. So talk about the big head.
Yep. They book learners, as we call it. They go by the book.
Yeah, well, the book I've seen them go by is changed according to the mood of the person reading the book. Have we not seen that more than once?
Oh, yes.
But thank you again, Lee, for sharing that. Absolutely. Yeah, see, the problem is when you're the person, not the title, you don't have to worry about that. My biggest thing behind doing these broadcasts, just like when I held the open circles on Sundays down south, we came together and we came up with a topic, much like we do here. We'd have 18 or 20 people um, gathered in a circle, and one of us would come up with a topic, and we would go around the circle, and we would discuss our philosophies, our opinions, and ideas on those topics. And that's kind of what we do here, which is why we've been working on building the Discord podcast. There doesn't have video. We really don't need video. I don't even know why we do video. I think we just do video because people would rather watch and listen than just listen. I don't know. Interesting thought. So, go ahead.
How so?
How who so?
She's an interesting thought on that.
Oh, well, if we'll remember, Cindy, back in 0203, when I did the recorded thoughts for the day on an MP3 recorder, and you and someone else, I think, developed a HOP webpage where the thoughts for the day were uploaded, and they were just they were simply voice recordings.
That's true. People, like you said, people like to listen to it instead of be it.
Well, sometimes there's a little bit of both. They want to watch, they want to listen, they want to interact. And so, I mean, as once, of course, we live out in the country, as our bandwidth picks up out here, hopefully we'll be able to do video interviews with people. And Discord is actually open. If you've got an interview you want to do, or a conversation you want to do about a topic, absolutely hit me up. We'll do an interview right here on a Sunday. Let's get it. I'm always ready. So where to from here? Unless anybody else has anything to offer, I think we've about beat the be the person, not the title, to death.
I have a short video today. Yeah, we beat it pretty good.
Yeah, right. So does anybody, either in chat or in Discord, have anything else they'd like to offer on the person, not the title?
Well, yes. It's the title, big head or be the person. If you're listening to this video, sometimes people get big heads and they watch this video, and they'll be able to say, hey, maybe that's me. Step back, rethink, and regroup.
Absolutely. Take a step back, look at yourself in the mirror. How many times have we said over the years, when you feel yourself slipping down a rabbit hole, step back, look at yourself in a mirror, and go, wait, what am I doing? Why am I being like this towards people? It's not me, it's not who I am, it's not what I do. So something else. Does anybody have any announcements, any upcoming events? Today is Sunday, August 25th, 2019. I know that we have some Sabbaths coming up. We're going to be entering September, October, November. Damn, we're almost at the end of the year already. Do we have any upcoming events anybody wants to share, both in the chat and in Discord?
Well, Cliff's group, Circle of Liberty is our group. I'll put a link on the page. We're going to try and have a circle for the Sabbath at my house, but in the backyard.
That'd be cool. Which Sabbath?
Oh, the 21st September.
Put you on the spot, didn't you, old girl? Right. So.
Yes, you did. Maybon.
Maybon. Yep. That's all right. I had to look too. I'm down 57 years old. I still can't remember the Sabbath. I still have to look at my wheel of the year to see what's going on, right? All right. Well,
Yep, that's the I crossed in the group.
wasn't it? So, I think we're going to bugger on out. We're going to give you your Sunday back. We're going to get ready for Live with the Shaman. And if you want to know where that's at, just hashtag in Facebook, hashtag Live with the Shaman. And join us up. We got a topic this morning, of course. We'll see you there at 11 a.m. Central Time. Of course, everything we do is Central Time. Haha. So, folks, thank you very much for watching. Absolutely enjoyed it, as always.
Good job, Don.
Well, thank you very much. All right, we'll see you next time right here on Open Pagan Church. Enjoy your week.